Sarah Jane Smith has arrived and I couldn't be happier. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. So many huge firsts in this story, but I'll get to those tomorrow. Today, I want to talk about the strange tale of the Sarah Jane Smith who wasn't. See, back in the spring of 1973, the BBC was auditioning for the role of the new companion of the Doctor, Sarah Jane Smith. Jo Grant had decided to leave the show, a new replacement was sought, and producer Barry Letts took the task and started auditioning and interviewing actresses. All of which led to a young Miss April Walker coming in for an audition one day. She spent an hour and a half doing line readings and film tests and screaming and climbing walls and giving impassioned speeches and being funny and serious and dramatic, and she was absolutely everything that Barry Letts was looking for. He was delighted. He cast her. He brought her in. She signed a contract. She spent 2 weeks doing costume fittings. Everything was full steam ahead. And even better, she had worked previously with Jon Pertwee in a stage production, and she loved him. She thought they had great chemistry together. This was going to be fantastic. This was the huge break of her career. Until... You see, when Jon Pertwee found out who was cast in the role, he strenuously objected. And his primary objection was that the actress was tall and blonde and buxom, and he felt she would come across as a potential romantic partner or mistress or some kind of love interest for the Doctor. And that was absolutely not what he wanted. He wanted someone in the role who was short and dark-haired and mousy and completely opposite from Miss Walker. Now, the reality is Barry Letts should have consulted with Jon Pertwee before extending the offer. It's true that technically the casting choice is not within the purview of the actor on the show. However, Jon Pertwee was a major star at the time. He'd been the lead on the show for 4 years now, going into his 5th season. His opinion absolutely mattered. And so Barry Letts regretfully picked up the phone and called Miss Walker and told her that, unfortunately, she was not going to be cast in the part after all. That being said, she had already signed a contract with the BBC, so she wound up being paid in full for 26 episodes of work that she never ever did. Although during that time period, she appeared in an episode of Fawlty Towers, she was a regular on the 2 Ronnies, and so the BBC deducted from the Doctor Who contract payments to other shows. As far as she was concerned, she was getting paid and she was happy, but she was also sworn to secrecy for the rest of her life, never being able to talk about this missed opportunity. And that was because it certainly wasn't Elizabeth Sladen's fault, and she did not need to be burdened with the knowledge of who it was, although eventually I believe she did find out. And the thing is, April Walker and Jon Pertwee did go on to work together in another show a few years later, and they were fine on screen together, they were perfectly cordial, and I gather Jon Pertwee even apologized to her. I saw an interview with her the other day. She said she accepted his apology and she was perfectly cordial to him and she understood all of the reasons, but she could just never quite forgive him, and I don't fault her. I mean, I can't even imagine what a horrible experience that must have been for her, and especially with the part of Sarah Jane Smith, who went on to become the most iconic companion in all of Doctor Who history. She is the companion to which all others are compared. And certainly a huge part of that has to do with Elizabeth Sladen's performance. She was a wonderful actress, perfectly cast in the role. But you have to wonder how much of that was the writing of the character itself. Sarah Jane Smith was a new breed of companion, a strong, intelligent, thoughtful lead who wasn't there just to scream and be rescued. And I can't even imagine being in Miss Walker's position, watching Elizabeth Sladen go on to such tremendous acclaim in the role to which she had not only been cast, but paid for. Just what Oh, what a sad, strange tale. And to her credit, Miss Walker kept that secret for decades. The truth only finally came out very recently, and not due to her, but because of research for supplementary material for a DVD, as someone was going through the casting sheets and found her actual name. We had known that another actress had initially been cast in the role, but the name had been specifically and deliberately concealed for a long, long time. I saw an interview with Miss Walker the other day, and she seemed like a lovely person and very gracious about the whole thing, and yet still justifiably frustrated about the entire experience, and who can fault her? So anyway, that wraps it up for the strange tale of the Sarah Jane Smith who wasn't. Tomorrow, I will get on to talking about this actual story, The Time Warrior, and all of the incredible firsts that happen in this story. I'll see you tomorrow.